Hey everybody, I'm here tonight with my good friend Skittles. He is how old are you now, Skittles? 2014? Yeah, seven this year. 7-year-old Blue and Gold Macaw. I've known Skittles since the day he hatched. I met him on his hatch date on November 21st of 2014. I was involved in his hand rearing at Exotic Birds of Denver, which we were sad to learn is no longer in business. It's a bummer. It was kind of a tradition with our family. A unique place to go. And Dave was a crabby guy with a lot of knowledge about birds, and he brought two beautiful birds into our life. One sadly passed away with a type of rare kind of bird cancer, I guess. But the vet described it as she withered. And she just never took to food. I don't know what it was, but it was some genetic condition, and it hurt. It was painful. They bond with you, and it was very much like losing a family member, to say the least, but at a little bit more of a subliminal level. He is here kind of showing off because I think he knows that I'm talking and making noise for the purpose, so that kind of gives away that I probably want to hear this information again. So he gets a little weird and likes to show off a little bit. If he chooses to talk, he does have about a 50 to 60 word vocabulary so far. He is relatively young, and I don't sit and voice train him. I don't, say deoxyribonucleic acid and hand him a treat. That is a very repetitive process. I prefer to let Skit attract himself to certain language. He tends to be taken to the dark side from time to time, but he chooses the words he wants to use. And I promise we will get back to the trike, but I figured since he's hanging out with me and it's his hangout time, it's too cold in my shop right now to get any real work done. And I digress. I apologize for that, but I'll get you back to the Can-Am topic at hand. We're right now at a stage where we're basically at part 4. That's the actual oil change itself. And I do have some information and some a blend of time warp data and some still shots. It was getting cold out there, and then I had this weird creepy guy that showed up in a four-wheeler. Whole nother ordeal. And I'll review it and go from there. Skittles is coming down to say hi. I think he's detected that he suspects this is what I'm playing with, and he wants a piece of it, so I got to put that away. He will eat anything electronic. He has an aversion to electronics. I think it has to do with the frequency of the emissions that come from them. The GoPro he's a little bit more friendly to. I think it's a quieter system. I think they factored that in when they made it, that it would be used in wildlife shooting. And so it tends to be very quiet. Cell phones I've actually heard my cell phone camera adjust, so I know they don't have such a noise, and that's on my tablet, mind you, but they don't have such a noise requirement, or lack of noise requirement, like you do on a GoPro. Skittles weighs about 600 grams, which is, a little over half kilogram. He's 7 years old. He eats basically any nut out there in the book, if it's in the shell kind of thing. You have to watch for certain ones. He can have peanuts, per se, and he can even shell American peanuts, but if he tries to quit, no, do the cashew thing, that's not acceptable. So those are poisonous. He can have most vegetables, but he can't eat tomatoes. He can have bananas, strawberries, peaches, apples, a vector of the fruit, but a grape is a no, and something to do with the acidity of it more than anything. And I was told that they'll get a diarrhea from them, and I'm guessing it's the vitamin C because they're not citrus friendly. They'll eat citrus, but it's not supposed to be, and in the wild they have a hard time getting out or getting into them because of the bitter skin. In other words, the macaw will give up on it. And the oranges are generally eaten by a higher order macaw or even higher order birds or monkeys. What else about Skittles? He is basically my companion animal. He loves to do, you know, his history. So he hatched, we hand fed him, and, we had to go to Denver to do that all the time. We fed him first 3 months, 4 months of his life. We fed him 4 times a day. So it was painstaking. And when we moved to Pueblo, we still had to continue it because that's where he forms a bond. That cements the impression. Can you stop? I was just about to brag at how nice you are and you're being a meanie, so quit biting me. I'm just going to hold your beak for a second. While this looks mean, people, this beak extends all the way back to here. This is very much a bone. I'm not hurting him at all. I have to do this because he'll lose control and snap bite me. He's mad at me because he wants to move his head, obviously. But it stills the animal, shows him that I'm controlling the beak. That's his hand. That's his food intake. He has a delta-shaped pattern in his tongue to where he's able to manipulate and kind of make up for his lack of a proper... Hey, that is a no. Can you see that? Huh? And you don't scare me, mister. You stop being cocky. Haha, male bird, cocky. Anyway, he is due for a groom. I'm going to learn about it. Unfortunately, where we live, I have to do everything on my own. So now that Dave's out of business, I don't trust anybody else. I took him to a place in Pueblo once, and they brought out the iron clippers, I call them, and scared the living shit out of me. I thought they were going to cut his quicks. He's an expensive bird, and he's highly valuable because he's voice trained. So for breeding purposes, which he's fertile, he would be highly valuable to another operation or a breeder. So, he's a high value item that I do insure, and, this is the reason why we lock our doors and honestly conceal carry around the home. So you're not getting my bird, my kiddos. Most importantly, Skittles is a 60 to 80 year lifespan animal. And yeah, I was in my 40s when I got him. And I know that raises issues of what happens in the future. He is in the will. Right now, Mr. Bruce is his primary recipient. So depending on the order of things, and you can rearrange however, but me, mom, whichever life, blah, 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 whenever, he'll move in with Bruce. Mark, he's used to the home here, and he's used to Mark's home, but that may change in time because it would be generally just be more of a natural transition for him to be with Mark. But Bruce wants him, so we'll work it out. But it's something that who really cares? I honestly don't have a say. But we do factor it in. He's in the will. We have arrangements, and you have to. We have to think about him. I've got my soothing voice on, I guess, because now he wants love. Skittles is going through a molt, and if you've seen him move his head around, you'll see that in different areas. Can I point at you? Sorry about that. He doesn't like to be pointed at. In different areas, you'll notice these dark spots. Those are his pin feathers coming in. The pin feathers have a tube. The tube is either extracted or broken in half. The new feather flounces out. He's already been through what I call the loss phase of the major molt. That happens around his birthday. Now he's in the regenerate and refeather phase. He molted tail feathers last year. He only does that once every 2 years. He does some of them on an annual basis, but every other year he'll lose the whole butt, piece by piece, and because he has to fly and then grow a new longer tail. And then this year he's getting his adult crown. You notice that? No. Getting his adult crown, and he's getting that more of a raptor look. He's not a raptor, although by his talons you'd swear differently. He is an omnivore, but he will hunt, eat fruit, eat small birds, they do not prefer carrion. Unlike the eagle, an eagle doesn't mind if something's dead. These guys do. They like the live death, or the live kill, and they're kind of a blood fanatic. They like the scory. But when people think, oh, talking parrot, no, omnivore. This is a little miniature bear I have on my shoulder. And trust me, they can break bone, they can penetrate skin, and I always joke with my wife, if he ever gets sick and tired of us, we have to lock the cage. Can you stop? That's his demand for attention, and he thinks I'm up to something. So he's feeling insecure. When he does that, he gets needy, and I have to control him, because now he's getting out of control, and he has to be reminded this is actually me. You can stop. Doesn't do any good to yell at him. Their world is 126 decibels. Anyway, this is Mr. Skittles, and he's a good guy. He's a good kid, and I enjoy spending time with him. I hope that I'm going to be catching more of these activities as well, because he's a unique individual. And as he warms up to this, and so on and so forth, I won't lie, I've been a little recalcitrant with him, but I've been guarding all season. And but I also am learning to use him for therapy. You can tell he loves me. He loves me to death. And I feel bad because I tend to push him away. And I'm getting better and stronger in my therapy now, and I'm wanting more things to do with guys like this and the dogs. But no, you can't bite me though. I will pet you, but no bite. Remember? Can you say no bite, no bite?